Jaguar CEO Adrian Mardell steps down after woke pink rebrand. Now, I know you've all seen the commercial, and if you haven't, we are going to have a peek at it today because this does seem to be a reasonable consequence for a man who oversaw a 98% drop in sales. Oh, hold on. That is precipitous. That is impressive. That is a little bit too good to be true. And it is. So, this Jaguar thing deserves a slightly closer look because whilst this looks ridiculously bad, and it is, make no mistake, Jaguar's rebrand from, Jaguar, the iconic brand, to Font A surprisingly popular trend these days, is absolutely a disastrous woke rebrand that has done a tremendous amount of damage to Jaguar as a company and as a ID, a logo, and as, of course, a franchise. Not to mention the absolute straight man repellent that is the pink dildo car. However, if you actually look at Jaguar Land Rover, well, they're earning money like mad. Revenue is up, income is up, everything is fantastic. They've even increased the number of cars they produce. So, how can these all be true at the same time? Well, you see, whilst this is absolutely a victory for our side, in that this is provably not popular, Jaguar and Adrian Mardell here has actually done something rather clever, which deserves investigation. But first, I want to just show you this in a more visual form. Yes, it's the Jaguar commercial. Now, most of you have probably already seen this, and holy shit, it is magnificent. It is absolutely amazing. I love this guy who just put on, he looks like a Cheeto being threaded through another snack or something. And the square hairdo, all of this. The most artsy-fartsy nonsense. And this guy, Tenga Man, who simply spins in a circle reproducing the Japanese Ownerhole brand logo. Or this, well, we know now it's a ma'am, actually, because apparently it's been revealed that this trailer does not feature any mem, so it is ma'am, sir. This entire thing, and that means that's a ma'am too somehow, this entire commercial was mocked roundly so by the internet, by social media, by news, by everyone for, well, being what it is, and crucially, not actually featuring any cars. But let me then contrast this to another ad from Jaguar Land Rover that came out at about the same time, like 2 months or so different, right? Look at this. We start with a man, a handsome man, enjoying driving a car. There's an attractive woman. There's other women like, oh my god, a Land Rover, wow. He has a fucking castle. He owns llamas and alpacas. And he comes back home, driving up the steps in his Land Rover after having wandered out on some massive investigation to find his giant dog's ball. And he returns home to his wife. Mission completed. Could there be a starker difference between these two? And I remind you, same company, Jaguar Land Rover, having of course been bought by an Indian company, like everything else if it isn't Chinese these days. So what is going on here? What is this enormous difference in marketing? What's happening? Well, that's actually the interesting thing that we've got Adrian Mardell here to thank for. Because, you see, the original idea of Well, this was the idea of this man, Thier Bollard. We'll just call him Bollard. A Frenchman, of course, who wanted to bring Jaguar into the future by making it a luxury electrical brand. Adrian simply just went along with the previously made idea, as he only took over in very late 2022, becoming the official CEO sometime thereafter. He just simply followed the plan that was laid out. As, again, I remind you here, this is about a car right here. The previous CEO racked up failure after failure after failure, and this thing was one of the biggest ones. I guarantee you, this thing took years to design, not to mention hundreds of thousands if not millions of dollars, and the best part is, this isn't actually a car. Now, I know it is a car, it's a functional vehicle, but this isn't for sale. Jaguar has no intent of selling this, thank God. Whether or not that is due to the backlash, it's possible, as they've announced this is purely a concept car. Now, future Jaguar vehicles may take inspiration from this absolute disaster, but I doubt it. As for the enormous dip in sales, well, it's because this is the only Jaguar currently on sale. This thing right here. Not quite the image of a Jaguar, is it? It's no sports car by any stretch of the imagination. The reason for this is, again, the previous idea of Jaguar becoming an electric-only luxury brand. Now, this is not as inherently insane as it sounds, because, sports car, roaring engines, all of that. Well, this is a British company, and Europe and England are both tyrannical authoritarian states, of course, who have made up programs that will ban all petrol or diesel vehicles in, I think it's like 2030 or something like that, which is hilarious because we don't even have the energy grid set up to charge the cars we have. Not to mention a complete replacement of all vehicles in Europe. But hey, that planned catastrophe is still a few years in the future, and oh boy, people are complaining about the energy prices today. And the best part about this incoming train wreck, by the way, is that everyone knows it's coming. Everyone can literally see the locomotive hurtling towards the cliff, but for some mysterious reason, almost feeling a little bit conspiratorial, nobody feels like pulling the brakes on any of this. Anyways, Jaguar wanted to future-proof itself, and this is where the really clever thing comes in. So, the new CEO, Adrian Mardell, decided on an idea that he called the House of Brands, where he would split up the various brands that was now under his control into different divisions and, crucially, with different marketing and ideas. Therefore, Jaguar would become the hippy-pippy nonsense bullshit, assuming that this was the ideology of the elites, as it indeed was, and it had, well, virtually zero support from the actual masses. This literally wasn't made for you. This was made for a class of, well, upper London crust socialites. People with more money than sense and probably DEI cash in their pocket as well. This was the car made for you, the Land Rover. This was intended to appeal to men, the straight audience. And it was also, and this is my own conspiracy theory here, but it seems to check out, intended to be a test into wokeism, in the same way that Disney did with The Acolyte. What if we go all in? What if we go balls deep? Because our HR people keep telling us that if we only commit to the bit, then the wider audience will sweep in and carry us to profits never before seen or dreamt of in all of industrial history, as communists will come down from the hills in swarms. to engage in the capitalistic pursuit of buying a sports car. Yes, it seems like a bad idea when you put it like that, doesn't it? And it turned out to be a bad idea on paper as well. Again, the massive decline in sales is because there aren't actually any Jaguars on the market, and so this was entirely expected. However, the massive PR backlash this automized dildo of excessive size received remains a massive blot and a stain upon the company's records. And as it is committing itself to being the imaginative breaking molds of cars, that's going to continue. Until eventually Jaguar either rebrands itself again in something along the same lines as Range Rover, which is again doing great right now, or it simply dies, is phased out as some sort of museum item. One out of the two. So, in all due likelihood, Adrian Mardell didn't step down because of the woke rebrand. That was largely his predecessor's idea, so it's unlikely that he took the blame for something that he would already have informed everyone about ages ago. But it is a sign, nevertheless, that one thing is massively successful. This sells cars. This gets you yelled at not only on social media, but by the establishment news even, that look at you and go, holy shit, you buried yourself with this. A valuable lesson indeed to be learned for many a corporation. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.